My guest today is a phenomenally talented musician. He is lauded for his virtuosity on electric guitar, but his secret sauce, I would say, is his incredible wide range of skills as a drummer, producer, singer-songwriter, and video maker as well. His music and videos have millions of streams and views. His new album, Destiny, is out now. Here it is. Look at this amazing art. It sounds even better than it looks. I would personally recommend it for fans of John Mayer, Mayer Hawthorne, Steely Dan, and every student of modern music theory, electric guitar player, or groove-first musician. His long list of endorsements includes Fender guitars, Martin guitars, D'Addario, Ernie Ball, Orangewood guitars, JHS Pedals, Bear Dynamic, AKG, Atom Audio, and probably more that I'm forgetting. This September, he'll be bringing his energetic live show to Nashville, Atlanta, Jacksonville, and Daytona Beach. Welcome, Jude Smith.
Thanks for having me, Noah.
Oh!
Did you throw Steely Dan in there?
Yeah. You like Steely Dan, right?
I love Steely Dan.
Yeah.
That's some big company.
This is so cool. This album is awesome. It's full of complexities and challenging musicianship moments that I think musicians can really appreciate. But it's also so fun and so happy. And boy, it gets you moving.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Is this a conscious choice to make mostly uplifting, happy music?
There's maybe it is mostly uplifting and happy. I like to think there's a gamut of different emotions in it. There's some questions. There's moments of faith in there. There's groove in there. I like to say the way I sum this record up is it is how I see life right now. And so every bit of these songs is a piece of me as an artist, as a human being. And life is a gamut of different emotions. And so an album should be, I think, the same.
That's cool. And I think that that's what the layman appreciates about an artist or a musician, to have... I heard somebody say something like, we write sad songs so that you don't have to feel the sadness, or it's like we feel it for you kind of thing. We express it for you, right?
Yes.
When you hear this song, whether it's sad or happy, and you're like, this is what I am going through right now. And it's just been sort of coalesced into this thing.
Yeah,
right?
The magic of music is hearing someone else put to words what you may not be able to say.
Yes.
Or music is what feelings sound like.
Yeah.
Someone said. And it's magical.
You think you can dance to a sad or troubling song?
Oh, I'm sure. Me? No. But someone who can dance, for sure. Totally.
When I think about the album as a whole, and I would love to run down some of these tracks with you, because I know that you're so passionate. You have your fingerprints on just about every little aspect of this record, I know. And
I stopped apologizing for that, and we can talk about it. But
yeah, please.
Maybe here we go. I think I learned on this record that you as the artist, if there's anyone who's an artist listening, you have to love this first. You have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to believe in it. Sure, that's the cliche. But I really learned on this record, not in any bitterness at all, but no one's coming to save you. You have to communicate what it is that you want to do. And it's great to take advice, great to take counsel, but as far as the music that you make, you can't fake a grin very long on your own music. And so you have to make what is in your bones to make. And sure, that may be a little cliche, but I think once you go through this process and you learn it for yourself, you go, yeah, I would, and not in an arrogant way, but I think at some point the artist has to go, yeah, I was right all along. This is what it needs to be.
Yeah.
There needs to be a 5-minute instrumental of Jesus Loves Me right in the smack dab middle of this pop album.
It's honestly my favorite track.
There you go. And those are the things that artists that I looked up to and heroes of mine in music, that's the sort of thing that they did.
Yeah.
And I go, wow, I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
And why are we listening to music if not for that?
Right. There's been, I think, a lot of sort of lamenting of music made by committee, sort of art made by committee. But don't you think it must be a balance, because you've also enlisted the help, the tutelage, you might say, of some amazing musicians as well.
Sure. Yep.
So having collaboration, having inspiration, no doubt important. But I hear what you're saying. Like, it defies logic. You're the artist. To make it Jude Smith music, you got to dig into that Jude Smith taste.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, you can waste a lot of time trying to be somebody else. And sure, you're going to hear elements of my heroes in here, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
But hopefully you're not just stopping there as an artist. Anyone listening, you should be taking those ingredients. And what I've said for a long time now is, what would peanut butter and jelly sound like together? What would this sound like with this? People love this, and people love this. Now, what would this with some bread taste like?
Yeah.
And I think this is the culmination of that theory of, this represents me in a deep way, and my faith, my musical upbringing, and everything. And it's not too much of any of those things. I think altogether, it speaks about just life right now.
Yeah. Okay, that's admirable, and I think it makes for great art. But I think, in my experience, it can also be a little bit dangerous to put the representation of one's self and one's complex life journey into something this tangible.
Sure.
To say...
It's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? And so, when is it... Are you decisive? How do you know when it's done?
Yeah, I think at some point you have to have a little bit of a target that you're aiming for. So I knew I was aiming for an album, somewhere around 10 songs. There was at one point I was thinking maybe let's do 11 songs. But practically speaking, I knew I wanted to do vinyl, and without getting too geeky, there is actually a sound limitation and a quality limitation to the length of time that you choose to make your record length. If I was doing 1.5 minute songs, I could probably fit 20 songs on a record. But the average song being probably, 3 minutes long, I can probably only afford to do 5 songs per track. Do the math, that's about 10 songs. So I kind of knew it needed to be about 10 songs. I wanted to, one of my favorite records, Asia by Steely Dan, that is like 7 songs, I think. I think it's 7 songs long. Obviously, the title track, Asia, is like 3 songs in one. But I love something about that short album that you don't have to commit to for very long, but it tells the point of the story, and you're done. You want to re-listen again. I've never been too big of a fan of deluxe albums where it takes like 2 days to get through it, Maybe that's for some people, but it wasn't for me. So I knew it needed to be 10, and that kind of helped put some bowling alley guardrails on it,
the bumpers.
to get the bumpers.
The bumpers or the gutters. It depends.
Sure, exactly.
Wow. So the physical limitation of the vinyl was part of your process.
It just is in general, for artists, they have to account for these, and with this...
Only if they want to do this.
Well, I knew this was going to be part of
this is unnecessary, Jude. You didn't have to do this.
Well, here we're back to the artist thing. Is it unnecessary, or is it something that you want to do that maybe not a lot of people are prioritizing? But if it's something that's in you as an artist to do it, do the hard work, build it, and they will come. And I'm glad I did. But the sound quality is a factor once you start to push. You can only fit so many grooves in a vinyl record,
right?
And so you have to at
literal
some point
grooves,
literal
not like
literal grooves,
sick grooves that are on this album,
literal grooves,
literal divots.
You can only fit so many divots into a vinyl record, and so at some point you're going to start cramming those channels tighter and tighter, and the sound quality is less and less.
Right.
And so they say aim for about 17 to 18 minutes per side. Less is better. But once you start going beyond 20 minutes a side, it's like, okay, you probably need to do a double LP. So
very cool. Well, I hope that everyone gets a chance to listen.
Please do.
Whether it's digital streaming or the videos that are very cool.
Cool.
Right? You've got, how many of these have videos?
Main music videos for Baby, the second track on the record. That's the main music video that we did for the album. I did like kind of a live studio casual version, I call it, of Fell in Love, which is the lead single.
Right.
But yeah, those are the only 2 videos. And I've got content and stuff online that I'm doing as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone should buy the LP too, because this is clearly an example of an artist who thought about this.
Yeah, and not to belabor the point, but last point on the vinyl for me, the reason why this was so important was for the last couple years, I've been throwing these vinyl listening parties with some friends for either my birthday or just getting people together for a Christmas vinyl listening party. No phones. The point was get people together and enjoy music the way it kind of used to be.
Wow.
With no distractions. You could pass around the liner notes, see the musicians. I love that. Like the respect due these guys who put their blood, sweat, and tears into this music. We just don't really have that anymore. Unless you go to Spotify, 3 dots, and click it and go to view credit lists, and you want to see. It's there if you dig. But anyway, doing these vinyl listening parties, and I had these crazy setup of like 12 different speakers. I mean, an audiophile would laugh at me. It was probably a phase nightmare, but it wasn't. I actually got it to a point in that small room in my studio at home where no matter where you would sit, you could feel immersed in the mix. And that showed me, it was like, there's one record in particular, Mountain Dance by Dave Grusin. It is one of my favorite records of all time. It sounds incredible. Incredible. And you can't find it on Spotify. It's actually like on YouTube or something, but the vinyl is the best way to listen to it. But anyway, that vinyl sounded so realistic that I have to say it inspired this to some degree, because it made me experience for the first time feeling the most realistic sound quality of a musician coming out of a speaker.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I want to do something like that. And so if I hadn't listened to that, this would probably not have been as much of an emphasis. And so tracks that would communicate that kind of feeling on this would be probably some of the last half of the record, like Desire, Mistaken, Reassure Me Baby. Those were mixed in a way where it was not chopped with compression too much, but to where they can breathe. If I'm sitting here across from Noah and I'm talking to him, if I talk kind of quietly, it's going to get obviously quieter. But if I get louder, obviously there's no compressor smacking my vocal down. It's very realistic sounding, right?
Yeah.
So you can communicate that kind of existence in music, if you will, by letting the music breathe and letting the waveforms do what they do.
Right.
And so that was a big part of mixing this record and letting it feel realistic when it comes out of a speaker.
Wow. Hearing an artist, producer, mixer talk about the power of dynamics and compression.
Yeah.
That's
so underrated.
You know, if the music moves you and you enjoy it by listening to it, period. But I mean, by now, anybody who's listening will know that you really, really care about every detail of this, which is
maybe too much, but it's important.
Well, now it's done.
You know, it's the envelope at which you deliver the message to your listener.
Right.
And the mix is so important. If they don't want to turn it up and feel immersed in it, something's wrong. If it hurts when it's too loud, the mix is imbalanced, and I'll stop there. But it is very, very important.
Okay, cool. I've got a list of some of the songs I'd love to talk about. I know that you're really passionate about the production, as you said in our email when we talked before.
Sure.
That's clear. But I feel like I should ask you, I think we should get out of the technical weeds a little bit before diving right back in. I do love the Jesus Loves Me instrumental.
Cool.
Which it was surprising. And is that a hymn?
It is, I believe.
I don't really know what makes it a hymn or just like a part of the popular vernacular.
I had to check and make sure that I was legally okay to release, it's public domain. It's been around for a long time, but I believe it was a hymn, maybe. But classically, people just kind of know it as like maybe like a Sunday school type song, like little kids sing it.
Fun.
And there's some beautiful innocence about it too.
Yeah.
Which is why it really resonated with me. And I felt like I wanted to put my own spin on it as a guitar player.
Yeah.
And put horns on it, put Zechariah Witcher on bass on there, and, just have at it. But
what's Zechariah's Instagram handle?
Black X Neck, something like that.
Yeah. Badass.
Sorry, Zechariah. We'll figure it out. Put it up
there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about a little bit about making videos.
Cool.
When I talked to one of my electric guitar playing friends in town who knew you as a badass electric guitar player, he said not only does he play the electric guitar and the drums really well, but it seems to me like he plays the internet like an instrument, which I thought was a hilarious way to put it, and is interesting because you're
interesting. I've never thought about that. Thank you, whoever you are. That's cool. I like
That's
it.
Connor Gaylor.
It's an instrument.
Yeah, Connor Gaylor.
Okay, thank you, Connor.
Awesome, kick-ass electric guitar player as well, and a close friend.
Cool.
He, in a lot of ways, I think people would think about you as a musician's musician. Because do you bristle at that? Bristle?
I always feel. It's an honor. Those are the guys that I look up to. Certainly, I'm at heart. I really admire those guys that are musicians, singer-songwriter, producers. Very few. I wouldn't say Mayer's a producer. He is. But
John
maybe,
Mayer.
Yeah, but maybe not as much involved in the mixing side of things. Although I've never been in the studio with him. I'm sure he's got the knowledge. But guys like maybe a Tom Misch, guitar player, writer, and producer. Love what he does. We've talked a time or two on
Tom Misch
socials
fans would like this too. I heard a little bit of that.
Sure. And there's other examples for sure, but somewhere in that lane, that's always
it's too much, Jude. Why are you doing so much, man?
I get bored easily. I don't know. I was homeschooled, and so I'm just kind of here and there. And no, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so I mean, this comes back to the internet thing, because to be the player that you are on one instrument, I think a lot of people would be really stoked to be at the level that you are in terms of your musicianship and your proficiency on the instrument, and clearly the joy that you get from playing with all sorts of different bands, writing your own music, but you also do all these other things, including making the videos. I was looking at your feed and I was thinking, something is like clean and different about Jude's feed, and this is on Instagram. You have the view counts hidden. Do you know that?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I shouldn't. No, I don't think so. Are they?
Maybe I'm mistaken. Adam, we need some help.
I've always felt a little funny about doing that. Yeah. Can you check for me?
And I thought it was...
If they are, I want to undo that, because I kind of have a feel like... I get why some people do that, like if you don't want to show the engagement that you're getting, but I'm very transparent with that. Like there's some posts that just flop and don't work.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some that get millions of views.
Yeah.
But I've never felt right about like hiding it. It feels insecure. They
show?
They show.
Huh, maybe
I'm not judging anybody who does it.
Maybe my
I'm just
Wi-Fi
feeling like
connection was bad.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. They're there. They're transparent.
Okay. I was gonna actually give you some praise for it, or ask you about it. Be like, wow, that's so big of you. I'm so attached to the number.
You can still go ahead. No, I'm just kidding.
You're so amazing.
No, they show.
Okay. That's interesting. Maybe I wonder if it's a setting on my Instagram, but it does sort of bring me to the same point, which is that it is really easy to get caught up in that game. Yeah. And at least for me, to lose sight of why I'm doing it in the first place, to keep the music, the love, the inspiration, the connection with other people, to keep that front and center is one of the lessons that I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
And
how did you learn that?
Well, I think so. When I got to Nashville, I wrote a ton of country songs, did the sort of Music Row grind, and it was sort of a business plan. And I had some success, but it wasn't really about the love of the music. And I played keyboards in a bunch of bands, which was great. It was super fun. It didn't really pan out in terms of giving me a job for so long, especially the pandemic. Same thing. I was mostly taking work because I needed to get paid rather than moving in the direction of the music that I loved, that inspired me. And then I had another project called Pinko Fuss, which was this very internet provocative thing. I was using humor to address challenges in politics and in modern life, social media, sort of criticizing this in a satirical way. Same thing. Like it was cool. I'm still really proud of the work I did. I was also a writer, producer, mixer. I had some help, but did a lot of that, spent a lot of time. And I think a mode that you're often in, which is in your room with your UAD Apollo, and then it wasn't until I just was kind of lost my mind. I was like, I need to change my life because if I'm not making enough money making music, I should be having fun and having a deep spiritual experience making the music. Or if I'm not having a deep spiritual experience making the music, then it should be a job. That's how I came to that.
Yeah, it's hard because especially back to the social media thing, like you can very easily get trapped into, say, the satirical stuff or the humor stuff, which is fine. I think those are all good, boosts of, what do they call it? NOS or nitrous. And, you're driving. It'll give you a boost that can reach a lot of people.
Right.
And that's good. But if that's like the only thing that you do, again, I'm not casting any judgment on anybody, but for what I know is in my heart to do, and I could maybe say the same for you, that needs to be used as a tool and not as maybe the entire foundation. And so that's what I've tried to do with, I love putting out humorous stuff here and there, but and it's had a lot of success and it reaches a lot of people, but that's not the thing I'll probably want to talk about in 30 years. I think in 30 years, I'm going to look back on something like this that took a year to make and, it took a lot of grunt work to get it done, but songs last forever. in content. Content's for today. Songs are for forever. That's what I think. And
songs are forever. Content is for today.
Yeah.
I love that. TM Jude Smith.
Something around there. I'm not minimizing it. Content in and of itself is a great art form. It has become an established art form.
Yeah.
It's useful. Do it and use it. But I think you're right to say that it's very easy to get trapped into something you don't want to do.
Right.
And you should use that. Always have your hands on those reins and make sure it's going where you want it to go. I've had a lot of people unfollow me for the new direction that I'm going. It's a little bit more honest. It's a little bit more of the artist-focused direction than maybe what some people signed up for and following me because they thought I was kind of the jokey guitar guy on the internet. But if I... for lack of a better word, convert 10% of those people into following this direction that I want to go, I would be much more happy with that. So it's definitely something to keep an eye out for.
I certainly don't want to minimize humor at all. In fact, I have it written down to tell you about how much I enjoyed your collaborative post with Fender, where you do the conversation thing.
Sure, yeah.
Oh my God,
and again, that's a great point. Not minimizing the humor at all. It's great, and I follow people because they are so funny. We all need to laugh. But a great example, there's a guy named Kev on stage. If he sees this, hey Kev, there are moments in his channel where he's a comedian, he's a funny guy, but every now and then he drops these dimes of wisdom. That's like, ooh, that's cool. And I stay following because I'm like, dang, this guy's deep.
Yeah.
But he's so funny.
And I think even in these posts where you got to check them out if you haven't seen them, but you and a few other folks sort of quote unquote talk to each other using only the guitar and using like bending notes so that the guitar really imitates the cadence, the flow, the pitch change of language. Yeah. And I think there is a real wisdom in there, you know, looking at music theory, which I know that you're into, of like why does the 5 chord has this tension feeling,
excitement,
and this excitement, this tension, it quite like language. When I'm teaching songwriting, I talk about the verse being often more conversational in tone, not just in terms of the lyrics, but the rhythm of the words, right? That the chorus is more anthemic, is the thing that you want to scream from the mountaintops more often, right? Not always. Yeah. And so I think that little bit of wisdom is one of the things that especially musicians really click with when hearing you going and having this back and forth in conversation only using the electric guitar.
Sure.
I
think maybe that's a good example too, because that's an example of a piece of content where it's funny, it delivers a laugh to people who just want the laugh, but it's also communicating to me and whoever's sitting there that like, hey, these guys play guitar.
Yeah.
What else do they do? Some people will go and follow for those reasons. That's a great use of content, I think.
You did at least one of those in the middle of a Guitar Center, right?
Yeah, we did. I reached out to Guitar Center. I kind of just have suggested it to a few companies because it's done so well. I mean, over 20 or 25 million views, some of these videos, or all of these videos. And so we connected with them, and we did one in their store here in Nashville. So it was kind of a 12-year-old me on the inside was like, wow, this is kind of awesome. I come in here all the time and maybe get shushed a little bit sometimes or whatever. But it was kind of fun, yeah.
Wow, that is so cool. Really fun. Adam, have you seen those? Yeah.
Awesome. Yes,
fun time.
I have seen them, but I am one of those people that just unfollowed you. So
okay, hey, that's totally fair.
I was
totally
so done. I mean, it was
nothing personal.
2019 though, and I was just like, this guy's
this guy's washed. Get him out of here.
I'm not sure. I'm just kidding.
That's tough. I don't know that I've really honed in on that. Maybe I don't have enough followers to see people unfollowing me. But that's gotta be a weird vibe when you see that statistic. They rub that in your face.
Oh, what?
Instagram.
You know how you get a notification? It's like you got this many new followers or this many views. Does it give you? Do you get notifications that are like this many people have had it with your shit?
Oh
like
no, not an
unfollow.
You don't get notified when you're unfollowed. No.
Okay.
But you can see it. Yeah, you can definitely see it happen. Have several times posted on my page something maybe somewhat controversial and lost 10,000 followers in a week.
Whoa.
Something recently happened, and I won't get into it, but just posted my thoughts on it, and I lost 5,000 people in one day. And how I don't have any ill will toward anybody, but I want to be more honest about who I am. There's plenty of people being honest about the wrong things, in my opinion.
Good for you.
And so I want to put that out there, and if I can be somewhat I don't know. I want to champion that honesty, for people who need to be saying the things they ought to say.
Yeah.
And let's have a discussion. I mean, shutting up the discussion is not good either way. Let's talk it out.
Amen. I love that. Yeah, your honesty and also the courage there that takes, I really admire. There's no doubt that we see things differently because you and I are different people.
Sure. Yeah.
But I so admire the fact that you're open
talk.
in that way. Yeah.
What's the harm in talking? Right.
All right. Tell us about your collaboration with Scary Pockets. What was that like? Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, so amazing. It's been a little bit since I've been out to LA. But yeah, Ryan and Jack, just awesome guys. They reached out a couple years ago and wanted to have me on. And I'll never forget getting there. You guys have seen the videos. If anyone's watched their videos, so much energy, so fun. And I can say, because I've been there several times, it is that way on set. Wow. It is not fake. That was my first impression when I got there. I was like, wow, this is real. These guys are great. The people were a great hang. Music was great.
Yeah.
The engineers were great. It sounds awesome. And yeah, just a great time. I think we did one or two sessions. We did 2 sessions, yeah.
Right. The kindness does sort of radiate from that group of folks on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope, it sounds like you're saying it was that way in person.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it was like, because you don't know a lot of the time when you get to see someone in real life after following them online if it's going to translate or if they're actually that good or if they're nice or whatever. But it was all of the above. I was like, okay, great.
Right on.
Much more respect.
And so the Jack you're referring to is Jack Conti.
Yep.
Is that how you say his last name?
Jack Conti.
Conti?
Yep.
Who's a really interesting guy because I would say for lots of reasons, his band Pomplamoose was a big sort of YouTube success.
Yep.
In the early days of YouTube. Amazing story, but he's also the CEO of Patreon and creator of Patreon, which it seems to me like his motivation behind that is so beautiful and wonderful.
It really
it's clear that he put so much time and effort into trying to create a way for, as he says, creators, musicians, artists, etc., video makers to make a living off of their art, because we live in this incredible age where somebody super talented like you can put together the technology, the people, the know-how to make an amazing record in your basement, which 30 years ago was just not possible. And so now we're in this age. I think it's great where somebody in Mongolia can not only hear your music, but they can also make something that you like.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
I think that's so amazing. It's obviously presented challenges for artists getting paid. It makes me think about concepts like capitalism and the free market and how important is art, these hard questions. And it seems like he's one of the few artists that is taking that head on.
He is like, when I think of guys on the front line of this wild, wild west of content, which is really what it is in this age. Yeah. I think of Jack. He is like constantly putting out like great new thoughts for the artist, and he's very protective of the artist, which I appreciate. But yeah, it is kind of a wild, wild west out here. It's like we're still figuring out how to use this art form, and there's also like a slightly addictive nature to it, and so we're kind of awakening to that. How do we handle this thing? Yeah. And so yeah, a lot of respect for Jack.
Yeah, the addictive nature I'm passionate about. I feel like I've lost a good chunk of my life to that, and I am hesitant even now. And I've also tried and failed a lot. I've tried and failed. I've made a lot of videos, spent a lot of time that didn't do well. And so I am hard pressed to give some compliments to social media. But then, as I was telling you earlier, I stumble on things like what you've done. I listened to this awesome record, and then I was going through your Instagram and finding you struggling with real challenges of making art, and then coming to a conclusion about them, or sharing the problem. And not only does it make me appreciate the art more, but I feel connected to you because not just because of the struggles that I feel as an artist, the challenges, but I think anybody who goes through a challenging problem is like, oh, here's somebody who had a problem and like worked through it and has a smile.
And it speaks to them in their situation.
Yeah.
That's the great side of social media. I don't want to villainize it, 100%. I don't think that's right. I think there's a fine balance, and it does a great job of connecting all of us in our busy worlds. and telling our stories. And I think if you're a creative and you're not taking advantage of it to some degree, I think you're missing out.
Yeah, I think balance is key.
100%.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't think I can ask you another way, but it's amazing to me how you balance this as a writer, singer, electric guitar player, producer, touring musician, video maker. But balance is the key, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It's, I think any sort of extreme, even extreme good. There's a verse in the Bible that I love. It's in Ecclesiastes 7. It says, the man of God avoids both extremes. And it's talking about over religiosity and over wickedness. And the Bible's not saying being wicked.
Of course.
But I think the balance is, that's what Jesus confronted the Pharisees for being totally, hypocritically religious. And we know we're imperfect. So I think that that translates so well to any area of life. There's a wisdom in not being too caught up over here. It says, and I was talking with my brother last night about it, John 1:17 says that Jesus came in truth and grace. So not only was he truthful, but he was full of grace.
Which is like forgiveness,
And
right?
that's the hard thing for us to do, because we either want to be so truthful that we hurt somebody, or we want to be so graceful that we don't help them. Right.
Wow.
So I think the balance is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And that translates to social media. It translates to all other parts of life.
I was thinking about really silly, trivial, but maybe not so trivial, practical aspects of life. Like,
there's always
like
a deep
diet.
level, and there's always like a surface level of that truth.
I'm starting to watch what I eat a little bit more. Be like, is this food?
Yeah.
This thing that I really want to eat, is it food? Okay,
Yeah.
so that's huge. And then I started going to the gym a lot. Cool. I was like, I feel better. This is great. I have to live this way. And then Connor, who I mentioned before, that actually brings over his famous brownies.
Okay.
And
Come on, Connor. Can't be doing that.
It is like a brick of butter and chocolate,
Gluten.
and it is so delicious.
Oh, dude, of course it is.
And it was my fiance's bachelorette party, and like, we're gonna have a glass of milk and a square of a brownie. You know what I mean?
Balance?
Yeah.
Do you have one?
I had to.
Okay. Stop there.
They were small.
Hey. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Cool. I love your Bible verses. I love verse in general, and I want to come back to that, ask you a little bit about that. But before we get there, building off of the social media, the balance, the success. Yeah. This is, I think, a tough question, Jude, but this is part of what I want to communicate and bring. I want to bring in my fellow East Nashville musicians, my fellow musicians. Okay, so I think that this is a sort of common experience. To live in East Nashville or LA or Brooklyn or whatever, or wherever you live around the world, to live in, an artsy part of town, maybe, to write songs, to record basics in a studio or maybe in like a friend's basement, and then go back to your little home studio and DI the other things into your UA Apollo or your Scarlett, right? Into Logic, your Logic guy.
Yep.
Use like Sound Toys or Fab Filter plugins, right? To do overdubs yourself or get your friends to mix and master, or to at least try and mix it yourself. We all do some mixing when producing. Sure. Upload to some distributor that you don't know, right? And make videos trying to promote the album.
That sounds like 2026.
Right? Okay. So this is a common experience you and I have, a lot of musicians have. And you're unique. I don't want to take that away from you. Your artistry and your taste and aesthetic, it's really special. Anybody who listens to this will know. But you've had so much success. We just talked about this. You just turned 30. You're touring. You've got these incredible brand deals with Fender and D'Addario and Sweetwater and more. You got millions of streams. What's the difference?
What's the difference in what I'm doing versus
what do you attribute your I would say really significant success when so many people try and don't have as much success as you?
That's impossible for me to answer, because
that's why I asked.
Sometimes, I don't really know. I think I answer this in two forms. I think on a spiritual level, for me, I feel like somewhat of that is maybe God given, but also there is a reality in this world where we reap what we sow, and we have to work hard. And so, this world is set up by God's laws. I believe that if you will be diligent, if you will work hard, if you'll not sleep in, you will see success. That's how the rules are written. So we'll do those things. That's why Michael Jordan says it. That's why Tom Brady says it.
Yeah.
You work hard. And so you can't escape those foundational truths. And so those certainly apply. But
it's not just
at the
hard
same
work.
time, I think we're all built for certain things. And I don't know why I'm here talking. We just met today. I don't know why I'm here and talking about this record now on a podcast about my faith and the music that I've made. I don't know why God put me here, but I'm just kind of doing my thing. I'm having fun. I'm trying to stay where I'm smiling and enjoying. And I'm trying to be a good steward of that and be as honest as I can and maybe be if I'm a hero to anybody, be the hero that I would want to see. Someone who puts out the music that speaks for me and does it in a way that's hopefully respectable. But as why the success comes, I couldn't say.
Cool. I respect that answer. Yeah. I know it's an impossible. And
I'll say this too. There's a lot that I've yet to do that I want to do.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, I try not to rest on those laurels, and to a degree, I've tasted a fair amount of success, and I thank God for that. But there's more that I want to do, and there's more that I feel like I'm built for.
Yeah.
So in a way, I've been saying to people lately, I feel like a rookie veteran. I've been doing this for a long time, but still feel very small in my own eyes.
A rookie veteran. You've been a rookie for so long.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Or I've, however you want to spin that.
I like that. No, I think that's great. And you do sort of have that youthful indie artist vibe to you, to your music, to your online presence. And you've had so much success so young, but I hear what you're saying. Like you could play guitar with the best of them. And everyone sees you working hard, no doubt, and knows that there are big things to come.
Yeah. I think it's somewhere in there. You work like it's up to you, pray like it's up to God. Somewhere in the middle. It's a balance.
I love that.
It's a balance.
Work like it's up to you, pray like it's up to God.
Yeah, I can't. I took that from somebody. I can't remember who it was on my algorithm somewhere. Probably.
Love it. Cool. Well, I want to tie into something that you mentioned. You mentioned not sleeping in.
Yeah.
Okay, so clearly this has been personally a big vibe for you. I think it speaks to something larger, which I've really struggled with, and something I need my notes for.
Okay.
And that is sleeping in.
Oh! Well...
No, you're an early
okay,
riser.
actually, we're going to go... I want to take it back to the Bible, which I'm sure you'll have no problem.
Yeah, let's do it.
You'll have to forgive my ignorance.
No, hey. Not judging.
I heard... You must have referenced this in somewhere, but Thessalonians chapter 5.
Okay.
Paul talks about the daytime and nighttime.
Yeah.
Many, including yourself, I believe, read this passage as not just spiritual light and darkness, but sort of like the old adage, nothing good happens after midnight.
I totally agree.
Right?
I think there's something to that. Yeah.
Okay, but we're musicians. I struggle with this so much. So I'm Jewish, and I try to observe the Sabbath.
Okay.
Friday night to Saturday night, it's 24 hours, no work is allowed.
Okay. Yep.
That's one of the most closely held Jewish traditions.
Right.
How sacred and needed that is.
Yeah.
But I can't swear off working on Friday nights as a musician.
Okay.
So I try to make up for this in other ways or celebrate it, observe it in other ways. Here's the question.
Yep.
And I'm being a little I'm being a little tough here.
Okay, please.
Okay. How can you reasonably expect to build a sustaining career as a musician when nearly every one of your shows is going to be late, on the road, surrounded by alcohol and cigarettes?
I love this. Okay, I'll say this. Romans 14 would be very important to read. I won't answer this for you. I'll answer this for anyone who would pose this question.
I'm most interested in how you square it.
Oh, for me, I don't feel a conviction about keeping legally the Sabbath. I do it on Sundays because it's good for me. My parents actually raised me to do it. I used to hate it. I was like, man, I want to go hang with my friends. But now it's like, man, I can't wait. I tell people no because I want to nap on Sundays.
Yeah.
And I take it as a practical advice, not as a legal thing that we ought to follow. Galatians and Romans talks about, hey, the law is good if you follow it properly. 1 Timothy 1 talks about that. But the law is good if it's followed properly, but it is not meant to bind you. It's not meant to be a weight. That's why Jesus came, because none of us can do it. None of us can keep the Sabbath enough, to rest enough, to be good enough to reach God. That's the good news of the gospel. And so if you're struggling with that question of what's my relationship with the law, go study Galatians, go study Romans, and a little bit of Hebrews, maybe too.
Love it.
But for me, I feel I ponder this a lot. It's a great question.
How do you stay up late around this, what feels like tempting, dangerous culture almost?
Well, I think there's a balance there too.
Yeah.
Because you can't say the nighttime is inherently evil, because God created it. Jesus met Nicodemus at night. There was plenty of biblical things that happened at night that were great. So we can't villainize the nighttime, but I do agree there is a spiritual reality to the nighttime that is very interesting and different.
Rock and roll, to me feels
I've never thought about it that way, but it's
from rebellion and tattoos and cigarettes and alcohol, and I do not mean to villainize that stuff. I find it as...
And can you do that as a Christian? Can you be in those environments? I think we have the liberty to say yes. 1 Corinthians 9, Paul talks about using the freedoms that we have in Christ to reach those people. That's part of my heart behind this record, is like this, I'm not here to judge anybody, but my life has been changed through the gospel, and I want to create a vessel of some sort that I can communicate that in a respectable way. And so that's me using that freedom that I have in Christ to go into those bars and to go into those places where no one may go and reach those people to tell them, hey, Jesus loves me, but not only does he love me, he loves you. And so I think that's the beauty of the gospel, is it takes off the weight of the law.
You feel like you're bringing the light into the darkness.
Yes. In an imperfect way, of course, but that is the race that we have to run as believers, is that Jesus has already fulfilled the law. We don't cast it away, Paul says, but Jesus accomplished the law so that through grace and freedom now we can serve him and do good works.
Beautiful.
So I think there's immense freedom to go into those, but be careful. Bad company corrupts good morals. And I would be lying if I said this is not continually something in my side as a musician.
Yeah.
That's not a thorn. I don't want to paint the music community as a thorn.
Me neither.
But just as there are plenty of claymores in the field that are hidden, that you have to be careful.
Right.
Have to be careful.
I wonder if you can put this in a more secular way. And I'll tell you how I think about it. I thought that smoking pot would make my songs better.
Okay.
No,
they might. They might.
Jude really didn't think so at first. So he said, yeah, okay.
No, I'm not going to lie. They probably do. And maybe they definitely do.
Wow.
That's a quote. Maybe they definitely do.
For me...
But what's the cost of your soul? That would be my question.
I'm thinking about more in terms of my health. And I hear you on the soul bit, and I don't want to diminish it.
Sure.
I just want to communicate it in a secular way, because I know that so many don't have their faith, Christianity, the Bible, to lean on the way that you do.
Sure.
And I hope I'm not putting that...
No, please.
So I was told, or picked up from our cultural narrative, that going to the bars and just being out late and probably drinking and probably having some drugs involved would put me in the right places, would ally me with the cool people, with the good musicians. And I found it...
I guarantee you it will.
Wow.
Guarantee you it will. That's the simple answer.
You say that.
Why? No, that's the truth. It's the truth is, this world is a downhill trajectory. We talked about it before we started rolling here. If you will just follow the right things, say the right things, do the right things, you'll get famous very fast. It's not hard to get famous nowadays. It's not hard to get in the right rooms. It's about, are you willing to compromise yourself and even your soul if you want to go that deep? And I believe it is that deep. Are you willing to give up those parts of yourself to gain this world? And that's what Jesus warned against, is, hey, you can gain the whole world and do all this stuff, but at some point it's going to pass away, because this is not eternal. What's unseen is eternal, Paul says. And so I don't disagree at all. I think if you want to do the right things, say the right things, take the right things, be with the right people, and you'll end up in the right rooms.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
I'm just trying to take in this turn, which I am so surprised to hear you say, but is so fascinating.
Do you agree or disagree?
I think
You should chime in here too. I want to.
you got something to say?
Not yet.
I feel like where I am now was hard won, and where I am now is similar, but maybe it's semantic. Maybe it's just about language in terms of what is right. I found myself idolizing so many of the musicians that we do in our culture, and I said this to Ian McConnell, that so many of our heroes are or were suicidal drug addicts.
Yeah.
And I don't want to live that way.
Yeah, right.
Died young. Ian and I had a really nice argument about it. Discussion, I should say. And I tried really to be cool. I tried to drink more. I tried to stay out later. I tried smoking a lot of weed.
Yeah.
And I tried to chase that sort of sugary, famey thing.
Yeah.
But I found not only did I find myself sad, depressed, and to be soulfully sort of poor,
Yeah.
but I also found that it didn't work. And I think the difference between us here is you're saying that it does work. It's just not worth the soulful poverty.
Yeah, and maybe I'm being a little too extreme in saying that it will always work. Of course, you're not going to end up maybe producing with the greatest artists on the planet. That's not going to be that way.
My bar for success is a little lower.
But I'm just saying, I think in my perspective,
Yeah.
if there was an adversary in this world who wanted to lead you astray, what weapons would you use in this world? What enticements would you use in this world to get you to go that way?
Yeah.
And I think it would be those things.
Absolutely.
That's my deep spiritual understanding of it. And it's why in the music world, I think you have to be very careful. You have to be very discerning, be very careful who's in your inner crowd. And I too have seen a lot of friends and a lot of people that I admire kind of start going downhill, or however you want to say it.
Yeah.
And you're right to bring up, a lot of rock stars have this depressing, suicidal lifestyle. It's like, really? Do you want that? Do you want to be part of the 27 Club? Do you want to do that? I don't want to paint too grim of a picture, but I think the principle is true. If you want to enjoy this life, it's pretty easy. And if you want to enjoy the next life, it's very hard. I think that's what Jesus says in John 12. And so not that we can't enjoy this life. There's plenty to enjoy here. The Bible says to enjoy life. But it says to be very careful at the same time.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
I could talk about this forever. The music is fun, but at the heart of this is, I'm sure we can tell here, there's more to just the music.
Yeah.
It's and there's spirituality to all sorts of music. You listen to some of the Beatles stuff, there's a spirituality to that.
Absolutely.
They were getting into a very different sort of thing. And I love that. Just on a lighter note, I love going to a George Benson show because his spirit behind his music is so uplifting. It's so fun. I've left certain concerts of heroes of mine where I've felt discouraged. It's a different kind of spirit, different kind of attitude, but music is inherently spiritual. And so I think this side of the conversation is so important to have.
I couldn't agree more. Music and art in general is inherently spiritual.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused about why, I don't know, the power, maybe music is just so powerful. There's so much music that is just silly and just lighthearted. And maybe that lightheartedness, that joy is I'm not appreciating enough the spirituality of just pure joy.
Sure,
something
yeah.
which is just fun.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good.
But I said something similar to Emily Hackett, a previous guest.
Okay.
Amazing East Nashville singer-songwriter. I think that's really where real art comes from, real art, whatever that is. You can feel somebody, it's rare for somebody to be inspired in one way or another by life, by the incredible beauties and hardships and complexity of living on this earth.
Yeah.
To be able to synthesize that into a piece of art is really special.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we feel connected to art.
Yeah.
And
it
so
speaks for us, hopefully, in some degree. We Feel Seen. You know, Speak for Me that's one of my favorite John Mayer songs. Speak for Me, and it's just a great concept. You feeling spoken for. Someone made something or said something that you resonated with privately.
Someone come speak for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
you got it. Underrated song.
Right. Is that Battle Studies?
Born and Raised.
Born and Raised.
Yep.
Born and Raised. One of the tracks on this album gave me big Battle Studies vibes. It was the last one.
Falling in Love at the End of the World. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That cold winter. I probably just fell in love with the album during the winter, but that cold winter reverb, that space on that. Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah. I think it's really fun, and however many chords there are in this whole album, that last song is on the one for about 3 minutes. And I think it's cool because that's a good example of saying just enough, you know, and in chords and music, it is a language. And so when we're having a conversation, you don't need to use big fancy words a lot of the time. It will suffice to just use basic 3rd, 4th, 5th grade words. And sometimes a song just calls for that, one and one sus for 3 minutes.
That's actually very well put.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you also like complex stuff.
I do.
I do too.
Yeah. Steely Dan's,
100%.
Mayer and the Beatles are like my 3 favorite.
Yeah.
But then again, when I hear a song that's just 1 to 4.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
It's great.
You know?
It's great.
Yeah. It's funny. Most conversations, you're right, can be had and can communicate well and like pleasantly and meaningfully at a 4th or 5th grade level, which is like, you know, the diatonic chords.
1, 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah. And then not everything needs passing diminished chords.
Yeah.
But it's nice to show in there like how it is nice to, you know, throw in a new word that I learned.
Yeah. Like you used tutelage earlier, did you?
I did use the word tutelage.
So that guy's, he's knowledgeable. You know, a little glimpse. But he's not trying to throw it everywhere.
He's showing off to me. He knows I don't know what
when
that
I
means.
leave, he's saying it all the time. Yeah.
I'm honestly not sure I know what tutelage means.
Yeah.
Let's just say you used it correctly.
Yeah.
Two guys that I think do that, or two bands, artist band. John Mayer does that so well. Takes simple ingredients and makes them great. And Kings of Leon does that very well as well. They take simple, it's more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
Somehow, what they do. It can be G, C, D, and it's really great.
Yeah. I've lost I lost track of that. And then some like Nicki Minaj or pop music just like brought me back, or Charlie XCX, like, wow.
Okay, yeah.
I love this vibe. Cool. And then it became something like, I need to learn. I need it. In teaching some songwriting classes, week 1, I was teaching this class online for Berkeley that was based in the harmony of music.
Okay.
And week 1, it was use one chord and make a groove. And semester after semester, these jazz heads would be like, ugh. And I'm like,
You only get one chord?
yeah.
Okay.
Like, oh, you can't make it sound cool with one chord. And then they were like, oh, okay. You know,
Yeah,
now this is a
that's
challenge,
cool.
right?
That's cool.
Right.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What chord did you use?
Well, they had to do one major chord,
Okay.
do a groove on one major chord, and then a groove on one minor chord, and then a groove on a dominant chord, and then I think that was it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I didn't write the class. It was a cool class. Jimmy Kachulis. Okay. Wow. So much fun. Adam, you got any questions for Jude Smith?
My question, when you had mentioned that you were talking to your brother yesterday about a Bible verse.
Yep.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
That sounds nice. Like, I was talking to Noah before you got here about the MLB trade deadline. And
Yeah.
and we were just going back and forth for just 3 or 4
That's
minutes.
great.
And just on a topic that we knew and that we liked. And it's like, hey, when you call your brother, is that something that comes up? He's like, I was reading something about that.
Yeah. I mean, it'll happen, but it was actually over Instagram DMs. We were just I sent him something that I found I thought was really cool. And he was like, man, this is great. And then we started talking about a verse that was in relation to that. I'm very close with my family, so that's not out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
You're Nashville, born and
Yeah.
raised.
Yep.
Awesome.
Born and raised.
And is your family still here?
Yep. All of them still here.
Awesome.
Yeah, big family. But yeah, I mean, talk about all sorts of stuff. But
Yeah.
You talk about
you should send me Torah verses, especially when tax season comes up. 'Cause
Ooh.
That's what most of the old
Some
old
stuff
book
on
is about. Be sure to file your quarterlies. Moses said, "File your quarterlies."
It's funny. Gabe Baker, the cello player,
No.
singer-songwriter.
I don't.
In his like 4 biggest tips for musicians, one of them is to file your taxes quarterly.
Really?
He's great. He's a good follower. He's a great cello player and great singer.
Yeah, and he's
Gabe Baker.
very handsome.
Very handsome.
So handsome.
I don't know how he
Then he
works
must
out
be
and plays,
right.
and plays the cello so much.
Yeah.
He must play the cello all the time. He's got big arms.
Okay.
Well, so can we talk about your family church a bit?
Yeah, sure.
So I want to make sure I get the name. You have your parent. Are your parents leaders in the church?
Yep.
Wow, what are the services like? It's a whole family band situation.
Yeah, I guess. I got a big family. Most of us are involved in ministry. My parents started it 21 years ago.
Wow.
Small little church. And it's just, our community is built around worship and read the word. And if you read the Bible, that's what it says to do. It says to read the Bible and do it, So it's very simple. It's a very small community, so everyone knows each other. You can't hide. Very involved in each other's lives, pray for each other, and very creative people too.
Creative is like in the name of the church, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we write our own stuff there. We've released our own stuff.
The music must be just awesome. I really
Yeah.
want to come to a service.
Please do.
To have such inspired music, it's not a surprise that spiritually it's also inspired.
Yeah, for sure. It's that's at the core of my community. Those are the people I'm hanging with a lot, and they're very intertwined with my personal life. Praying for this album, all of that stuff. And,
Wow.
it's a good group.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you about some other churches in Nashville.
Okay.
If I want to hear some amazing music,
Okay.
any church? Can you recommend any church services in particular?
Gosh, the top one, because not just because one of my best friends plays bass there, but Belonging is obviously
Belonging?
The Belonging Co. is obviously one of the most known in town. Their worship is incredible, and their players are great. And it's not just that; they're a very healthy church, biblically based church, and that's probably the first one that comes to mind.
Okay, cool.
So.
Right on. Yeah, it's funny. In the Jewish tradition, music is treated really differently.
Okay.
And any student of music does or should know the incredible contributions of the church, churches, and Christians to music, from Bach to gospel music.
Yeah.
It's inseparable. Choir music, I spent so much time in the choir.
Okay.
Which was a little bit strange to be like the Jewish kid in the choir, because rehearsals were in church. The director was the church choir director.
Okay.
And the music was just so beautiful and so inspired. And it's one thing that I feel like I've missed out as a keyboard player. So many of my fellow keyboard players grew up playing in church.
Okay. Yep.
It's
It's one of the best places to come up, because you're playing for something greater than yourself. You play with other people, and you're also playing in front of other people who will be gracious toward you when you mess up. And it's the perfect place.
and yet you
to
do it
come up.
every week.
Every week.
You're either listening or playing.
Yeah,
Every
totally.
week, right? Yeah. I don't want to knock the significant contributions of Jews and Judaism to
Hey, they
music.
wrote the Psalms.
Is that right?
David. A lot of other guys.
David.
Yep.
Yeah. Love you, David.
Goated songwriter. So, y'all did
That's
pretty
awesome.
good.
Okay. We asked you about this. East Nashville. You think East Nashville's special?
Are you asking because I'm not from there? I'm from east of East. I do like East Nashville.
Yeah.
I've not ever lived there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm east of East. I say I'm like kind of east of Donaldson a little bit.
Oh, right.
You
You traveled a little way to get here.
a little bit.
Thanks
yeah.
for making the trip.
Oh, I love to drive.
This is filmed in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's right. Dude, Nashville's great. East Nashville's great. There's all sorts of unique pockets of town.
Yeah.
It's great food over there, good music, and yeah, it's cool.
What are you listening to right now?
Right now, I'm kind of back in a Steely Dan fix a little bit. I've been listening to Asia these last couple days. One record that's been big for me that actually inspired this one was the new Parcels record. I think it's called Loved.
Parcels,
man,
kind of
so
like
awesome.
disco-y.
Yeah, kind of disco-y. They're Daft Punk influenced. They're from Australia, but they're based in Berlin, I think. But they just got that European thing down, dude. It's so cool. They do it in a really unique way that's not like cheesy funk. It's like respectable funk and really fun, feels good. And just the production on their album too really inspired some of the transparent and open dynamics of this record. Big fan of them. Yeah, I could probably go on. But.
Awesome. Best advice you ever got?
Okay, first thing that comes to mind, I was on a gig when I was about I was maybe 18, 19, and I've told this story before, but there was a drummer who was joining, I was playing guitar for this band, and we heard that they had hired a pro drummer who was at the time on tour with Pentatonics. And so we were like hyped to have this guy. It's like, well, this is a pro drummer who's going to join us, you know? So we were big boys now. And he comes to the rehearsal, and I'm kind of starstruck a little bit. And I'll never forget, he came to me and asked me if he could help me carry my cases in. And that really inspired me. I was like, wow, you know, Drew Schroyer is asking me to, you know, help with the cases. He wants to help me with my cases. And I've always remembered that, you know, when you're showing up, you should be good at what you do, but you should be a good hang, be kind to others. And if you put those together, like, you'll get the call again. So
Right on.
I think that's great advice.
That's cool. Yeah, when the drummer asks you if you need help, wow. Usually, the drummer's usually got the most cases.
But isn't the drummer for the Pentatonics a beatboxer?
That's true. I think it either was, you know what, that's actually kind of funny, because I think he was opening for someone who was with Pentatonics, but he was involved with them in some way.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was a major touring drummer at the time, was the point.
Yes.
And so when he comes back, we were a little starstruck, but that's a good point. Yeah.
That's so funny.
I think he is a beatboxer.
It's an a cappella group.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah, no. Okay, then it must have been that he was with the opening act or something.
It doesn't
But
really matter.
Besides
I
the
didn't mean
point,
to
Yeah,
diminish that.
Drew
It's
is
just
still a legend. So,
I think I follow him on Instagram.
do you?
Yeah.
Do you know him? Yeah. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Right on. You're a coffee guy, huh?
I like coffee. Yep.
Just that? You just like it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm kind of easy to please. I'm not like a connoisseur. I know a good cup when I taste one, but I also will make myself a crappy cup, you know, at home. That's fine too. So,
It seems to be a theme in your videos.
is it?
I don't know.
Maybe you noticed something that
But
I noticed.
it's-
Is it like everywhere?
Maybe it's a culture thing as well. Like you post this video that I love where it looks like the camera that your phone is in your cup holder of your car maybe.
Okay.
And you're like, I just pulled an all-nighter. I think I
sure.
finished the mix.
Sure. Yeah.
And so maybe that's, and then there's the other video that I referenced before, where you're talking about the drums and mixing
There's
drums.
probably coffee in the background. Something.
Yeah. You at the very end, you're on your porch, like sipping a cup of coffee.
There's a great spot right down the street from where I live. So that's probably why.
You wanna give him a shout out?
Memento Coffee Shop,
Memento.
Tani and Bora, awesome owners.
Cool.
Great little shop.
So you know the
Yeah.
folks.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah, they're awesome.
You're not like a Folgers artist or anything?
Still waiting for the endorsement, but no, just kidding. Yeah.
That would be nice. That'd be nice for the road.
Yeah.
Right? You I read that you played a lot of Guitar Hero.
I did. Dang, we're going deep. Yeah, I grew up playing that game, dude. It was I'll never forget. I was maybe 11, and I played it for the first time at my buddy's house, and they had it. That, you know, when you have something, you don't really care about it, but they had it, and I was like wanting to play it. I was like, I played it for the first time, and I will never forget that time. I played Freebird on easy in my buddy's bedroom, and I was like, this is sick. And they were like, Jude, stop. Like, I was like hogging it. And I was not hanging out with them. I was just playing Guitar Hero. So I finally got it for myself. I couldn't even afford the game disc yet. I bought the guitar first. So I took the guitar home and I would play on YouTube to other people playing just to kind of, until I could save up enough money to get the actual game.
Yeah.
So I got the game and I played that. I like 5-starred Through the Fire and the Flames when I was like 13. And it was, I spent too much time. My dad was worried. So the story goes, that's probably how you read it. And, my dad was a little worried that I would be kind of misusing that rhythm that was natural into a game, but I think it actually served me well, because at some point it transitioned me out of classically studying piano into guitar. And I got kind of not bored with it, but I'd kind of learned enough on piano to ditch that, and I started picking up the guitar at 13.
Wow.
And it was actually a big benefit to me. And I met someone else, Melanie Faye. She's a popular guitarist, and same thing with her. I learned that she grew up playing Guitar Hero, and it was a great thing for her. And yeah, busted it out actually the other day. I played with my nephews. It was
Wow.
fun, so.
See, man, you accelerated so fast. You started at 13.
I started playing guitar when I was about 12.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
what do you attribute your This is a tough question to answer.
Yep.
But you play very well.
Thank you.
You play very well. And I think there are a lot of folks that started earlier that can't quite play like you. Was it a sort of obsessive nature? Do you feel like you had amazing teachers?
Me, I can't. No, I think I started at 8. That's not even close. It's very far away.
I put it this way. I look at my dad and like the giftings that he has. And I'm like, wow, where does that come from?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think. Well, I do know. I think it comes from God. I think
course.
He makes us for certain reasons, fashions us for certain works. And my dad will like lay in bed apparently and like think of blueprints. I told you he's an architecture guy, and he will think of plans of something to build the next day as he's laying down. I'm like, how do you do that in your brain? And I can resonate with that in some degree. I can sit and formulate a progression and a melody before I even touch the keys for the first time or guitar for the first time. And so I think that's just inherent. And so in some degree, again, back to the balance, I think some of this is inherent. I feel like God made me to do this, and I'm trying to be a good steward of it at the same time. So I've worked, I've practiced, but it does feel like something that's come natural to me. And I think it's somewhere right in the middle.
Cool. Very cool. Love that.
I got
Please.
something on. It almost seems like the timing works out too well that your love for what's the guitar game? Guitar Hero led directly into playing actual guitar.
Maybe it did, yeah.
You started at 12 and you played Guitar Hero on YouTube at 11.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So for about a year or two, and I would also like invite other buddies who I knew had Guitar Hero over to my house, and I was like, "Hey, and bring the game."
Dude, you were jamming back then.
I was scheming hard.
Yeah. So could you say Guitar Hero? It's another one of those hard two words to say.
Yeah.
Is a gateway drug to real guitar?
Maybe.
Are there good gateway drugs?
Maybe
we
was.
should ask
Maybe I
Noah.
didn't realize.
No, you done any good gateway drugs? I'm just kidding.
Nope.
Yeah. You're right.
0.
No, I mean, obviously it had a good effect in that it did at a young age intrigue me in some of those classic songs. And I still have a taste for those old songs
Yeah.
too. So maybe it was part of that too.
But you were a musician before that? You were playing classical
I was
piano.
playing in church and I played piano. And man, when I have kids and they want to learn music, they will start on piano.
Yeah?
I'm so glad I did. It's maybe the best instrument there is because it's horizontal. A fifth is a fifth. You don't have to go down to the A
Right.
string and go, okay. The theory on guitar is so confusing.
Yeah.
And it's difficult. You have to be very calloused and it's a very tough instrument. But learning piano was good. And then maybe it was Providence at the right time. I started playing that game, and here we are. Now we're talking about it. I don't know
That's
how
cool.
that works, but it's a fun game.
Did you get into any other video games? Or what do you do? Do you have any indulgences like that?
I love to play frisbee. I love playing ultimate frisbee.
Yeah?
My dad and my brother are serious marathoners. My dad marathoned. My brother just ran the Boston Marathon in 2:38. So he's a beast.
Jeez.
He's crazy.
Oh my
He's
God.
top 4%. So cardio is in my family, I will say, but I never got into the running side of things except for I'm still active. I hit the gym pretty regularly, and I enjoy. Frisbee is that's my sport.
Are you on a team?
No,
You've
not
been
on a team. I've just kind of played with friends here and there at Centennial Park. If you're from Nashville,
Nice.
we play there every now and then, and it's a great way to stay active, and it's really fun. It's a team sport. You have to creatively pass, and score, and it's a great game.
How's your forehand flick?
Very good. That's actually my primary.
Really?
I don't boast, but it's I'm very confident. Yeah, that's my
cool.
main. I'm not great at backhand. But forehand they know where to guard me. When we're playing, they guard my right side.
I see.
That you think they're watching film?
Well, no, I'm not. It's not that serious. So it's pickup game on Monday night. But
Cool.
we played for several years in a row. We didn't play this last year because I've been a little busy. But I used to kind of host a Monday night thing, so we'd play pretty often. But
Right on.
Yeah.
It seems like you're either good at and/or passionate about creating those little moments of community. I think it's a great service. We would say it's a mitzvah, but
Cool.
It also, I don't know, you get so much out of it to host a Frisbee game, to have people sit down and listen to a record all the way through.
You're very observant, maybe more than I am, but I think that's true. Yeah, I think I do enjoy bringing people together to hang, and I get something out of that. And if I can enjoy it as well, that's cool too. But bringing people together it's hard to do nowadays. But
It is hard to do. Do you think that's because a lot of your friends are musicians and everyone's working so hard to make it
I
work?
think it might be the phone, maybe something to do with social media, but also I might just be getting older too, and like maybe there's something about turning 30 that like things start getting a little more narrow. You know, people are focused on their careers, their families budding and whatnot.
Right.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's a combination of both. But I try to fight that as much as I can and call people when it's appropriate, like phone call people.
Yeah.
Get together, and that's why I love this. I mean, this is like what humanity has thrived on for, since God made us. And so I think, it's important to come together.
Yeah, beautiful. I want to share a poem with you, but I forgot to really prepare it.
Okay. Do we want to?
But I'll tell you about it at
Okay.
least. Oh yeah, wait, we can do this. This is casual. I went to Henry David Thoreau Middle School. A really cool, to me, fact about my school district is that the middle schools were named after poets.
Okay.
Which
Cool.
I think is a cool theme.
Cool. Yeah.
And one of my previous guests went to.
Imagine being a poet, man. You got to really grind.
Are you not?
Not to detract from your story, but just like, man, I get like, I have a lot of respect for like, man, you did that thing enough to be called a poet. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or like stand-up comedians, they just have a mic. That's it. That's their livelihood.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just impressed with like the
Okay.
simplicity of that pursuit, but the discipline to become that is crazy.
Right.
Anyway.
Let me get to this poem. This is by Joyce Kilmer.
Yeah.
And this, I feel spiritual connection in nature, to nature. One of the things that really grounds me, the miracle of life.
Yeah.
This is called Trees.
Cool.
I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the earth's sweet flowering breast. Against the earth's sweet flowing breast, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray, a tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree.
Wow.
That's
that's poist. Why am I blanking on the word?
a poet.
A poet?
Yeah.
Cut that part out. That's a true poet right there. Anyone can like chat GPT something. Mm-hmm. But dang, that's really good. What's the name of that poem?
Trees by Kilmer.
That's a true poet.
And yeah, I say songs because it feels so, it's one of these pieces of art, one of these songs, one of these things that feels like, oh, this is about my life.
Yeah.
Right? Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree.
That's so good, dude.
Right? It brings me back to like the spiritual inspiration behind a song. Yeah. Why am I writing this song? Because of the strong feeling, because of the spiritual motivation, because of this challenge in life.
Yeah.
Makes for these beautiful songs. But at the end of the day, living with that soulfulness feels like it's the thing.
Art is so important. There was a, what I was reading recently, there was the Great Depression in the late 20s, or maybe it was the early 30s, I think it was with FDR, when he started, he had a government program to help bring the economy back and to bring culture back. One of those programs was to incentivize artists to create again, because he realized how important it was for the morale of the country to be inspired. And art is that important to life for us, that we need to read these things, that we need to hear music, that we need to be inspired, and that brings character and culture back.
Yeah.
And it was that important to FDR, and it worked. And there was someone should make a movie about that.
You can still see it today in the New York City subway system.
Okay.
Some of these subway stations in New York have incredible mosaic tile.
Yeah.
It's totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
But they were built during this time.
Okay.
When it was like, you could just use concrete, but they employed these highly skilled artisans to create something beautiful.
Yes. Yep.
I know we don't often think about the New York City subway system as being especially beautiful.
Sure.
But there are some pieces of it, some subway stations that are incredibly hand laid.
Yeah, and it's only going to get more and more noticeable hard work and beautiful work the more the AI becomes prevalent.
Let's talk about it.
Anywhere that you see effort from here on out is going to be like, whoa, they could have not put a beautiful whatever,
Yeah.
put beautiful stones in the subway. They could have just made it concrete. That turns our eyes as humans. We go, whoa, someone took the time to do that. That's only going to get more and more rare, I think, from now with AI.
So it's maybe in a lot of cases a great thing that we can reduce the amount of effort to accomplish some things, but it also makes that effort more precious.
More appreciated. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I hope so. I'm seeing that, like you see a lot of those like flyers where people will like print what their business does. It is like a certain look. You can tell when it's AI slop. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's like you can tell when it's AI, and you go, okay, I get it, but I almost don't want to I don't want to look at this thing because I know no one made it.
But I would think that soon we won't, and not so long we won't be able to tell.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe it will advance.
Which is the thing that scares me.
Yeah, I mean, we already can't tell certain things. Certain things you can tell, but certain things you can't. I'm pretty discerning, but every now and then I'm like, oh, wait, no, that is AI,
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Has the development of AI changed your process, your business, your perspective on what you're doing in music?
No, I kind of stand on both sides of the fence a little bit. On the one hand, I know that nothing in this world lasts, so you might as well embrace it and have fun with it. But at the same time, I'm a purist, obviously, and doing the totally irrational thing as an independent artist and raising money to produce my own vinyls. I do realize that like there is an inherent preciousness. You said precious earlier in human art and taking time and sacrificing to do something human. Mm-hmm. And so I think that will always be appreciated. So I've yet to actually utilize AI to a great extent in my music, and I do feel a bit of a conviction about that. But I'm not so totally opposed to it that I'm gonna be a grandpa about it and be like, oh, I think it's somewhere in the middle. So.
Yeah, in fact, that makes sense. Makes sense. I can see a renewed interest in what I like to call these sort of hard skills of musicianship. Being able to play an instrument.
Yep.
And I love electronic music. I've enjoyed making so much electronic music. I've loved listening to electronic music. But I think that it may, in this situation where we can create tracks that have that synthed out, synthesized digital or completely electronic vibe, that may be so easily created that the saturation that we have of that is going to exponentially increase. And I think we're seeing that already. We've heard insane statistics about the streaming platforms that it's X number of songs have been uploaded per day. And you see that rise and rise and rise.
Yeah.
I know Deezer, which I think is like the French streaming service.
Is it French? Okay.
Maybe it's
Deezer.
Yeah.
I took French in high school. So.
Sounds French when you say it like that. They released some statistic, which was like 40,000 purely AI-made songs. I don't know exactly how they understand.
Apparently YouTube is cutting down on that, which is great to hear. But,
yeah. That is great to hear. I think that we've maybe overvalued, purely in a business standpoint, in the marketplace, where we've overvalued the recorded music. Which is a bit sad because it was the basis for the recording music industry.
Yeah.
From the beginning, in the 19-teens, it was selling this. Mm-hmm. And then the collapse of that with digital music, great benefits, great challenges for the music industry to survive.
Technology always changes the reality.
Yeah.
It's always going to be that way.
So I'm hoping that the silver lining to this bit of a storm cloud that's coming for the music industry and for all kinds of digital creators is that folks like you who play the heck out of a bunch of instruments, people will be like, it's even more rare, like you said, especially because there's a generation of folks behind us who started and ended only on the laptop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's already well established, the laptop producer era. I don't know, man. I think, just like I said, people notice when you put work in. If you build it, they will come. It's that common trope, So if you will put your heart and soul into something and be genuine about it, hopefully it's good. Hopefully it sounds good. Make a good product and make sure that people know it's human. I think you'll have people buying it.
Cool. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to carry that with me. I hope you're right.
Okay.
I think you are right. Let's see. What was high school like? Oh, you said you were homeschooled.
I was homeschooled. I loved it. Yeah. I'm from a big family. I have 5 siblings, so there's 6 of us.
Are they all musicians?
No, some of us play. All of us play music a little bit. Most of us play music a little bit. My brothers, they play guitar. My other brother's a great guitar player and producer too. But no one's pursued it maybe professionally, like I'm doing. But yeah, a very creative family in different aspects, and I loved coming up with that. I was homeschooled, but I did like a homeschool co-op kind of hybrid. So I had homecoming, I had prom, and all that stuff. It was fantastic. I loved it. Did MTSU for a year, and I realized that was not for me. So
interesting. Well, there are a lot of musicians who went to college and realized it wasn't for them.
Yeah. Kind of realized when I was going back home and doing the thing that I was already going to college to learn how to do, I was like, thankfully I didn't go into debt to go to school. So it was the right decision to just get my hands dirty.
Yeah. Cool. Well, you got your Exit In show coming up on September 12th.
Yes, sir.
What's that going to be like?
So excited, man. It's going to be my biggest show to date, and it'll be debuting this guy, and we're putting in the work for it. And it's just going to be fun to finally get this record out on a stage. You know, I think as artists, we breathe in, we create, right? And we go in the studio, we make these songs, but then on a stage, we breathe out. And I've been holding my breath for about a year now. And so if you're in the Nashville area, if you're in the Southeast, anywhere in the U.S., please come out. It's going to be a beautiful time. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. I'm sure it'll be high energy, just good vibes. Good vibes. This record is so happy and good vibes. Although, like you said, it's not, there's challenges, they're darker or there are moments of challenge.
Sure.
You know, the depth, like you said, the range of emotions sort of here for sure. But I can imagine that the show is a lot of fun. So you're going to be in Nashville. You're going to be in Jacksonville.
Atlanta on the 18th. So Nashville, September 12th. Atlanta, September 18th. We're still working out Jacksonville. That may have moved now.
Okay.
So I just got offered a opening slot with another artist, so we're kind of having to shift things around in late September. But as of now, the Southeast, I would say Nashville and Atlanta, those are locked. So if you want to buy tickets to those, come to those. And then stay up to date for the opening slots coming up later.
Sweet.
Do you know who's in your band yet?
That's what I'm still working out. I've got my drummer who played on the album, Cam McClure. He's in the liner notes there. You can read about him. He was fantastic. And so Cam's playing drums with me. Still working out the rest of the guys. Matt Mitchell should be there. He played keys on tracks 7 and 8. 7 and 8.
This is so cool.
Getting it together though.
Wow, you really did it, man.
Nice package.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, so if we can show this off a little bit, can I talk about it?
Yeah, please.
So he pulled out this inner sleeve there, but this is the front cover here. This was the studio, one of the studios where we recorded. And it just kind of felt like from the very beginning, this was the picture that it was going to be. My dad kind of fought me a little bit. He was in the music industry, so I take his counsel. But I wanted it to be kind of discreet, and I wanted the music to speak for itself, so I didn't put my name anywhere on it. But yeah, this is the studio where we were recording. We got the track names on the back there. Biodynamic, they were a big part of helping us bring this to vinyl because it's not cheap, and they were behind some of the tools that I used, headphones, microphones, and recording it, so they were a great sponsor, great partner to have on this. We got a lyric sheet.
Yeah, here, show the people there. That's your camera.
Okay, we got the lyric sheet here. We got our thank yous to people who pre-ordered to help make the vinyls possible, so you guys are in here. Thank you so much for pre-ordering. And all sorts of musician credits here as well. You can read about those. And then every, this is a secret, but I'm telling you here, I guess. Every vinyl comes with 2 custom guitar picks that we made with Dunlop and Diodario. So don't forget those when you open your vinyl. They may fall out, or you may never see them if you don't look. I've looked in some vinyls and I was like, whoa, I never even realized that thing was in there. Kings of Leon record. I didn't even realize there was a pamphlet. And you have to look in these things.
Yeah.
So you'll have 2 guitar picks in there, and then of course the inner sleeve. And then most of all, you got to show the actual record, right?
Yeah.
So obviously Destiny. We got the name of the studios and the people involved. But then you pull it out, and this is one of my favorite parts. On the front and back, this is a guitar knob. For anyone who's played guitar, you'll recognize volume.
Oh, nice.
Volume and tone. And so we've got volume 1 to 5. This track's 1 to 5. And then on the back here, you got tracks 6 through 10. And just a little creative touch. But this is my personal copy. I'm actually picking up today the rest of the batch. They're finally done. So we'll be shipping out next week. And excited to get these in people's hands.
Wow. So cool. I can't wait to get my hands on one of those. Adam, any last questions for Jude? Wow, Jude, this is such a blast.
Pleasure, man.
It's so...
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so great to meet you. And Good luck with all the stuff. I can't wait to see the show.
Thank you.
I can't wait. I've listened to the album like 4 or 5 times now, but I can't wait to get the LP. And God bless you. Good luck.
Thank you. You too.
With everything that's coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Crushed.
Awesome.
Man, I enjoyed that thoroughly.
I'm so glad. Me too.
You're a great interviewer.
Thanks.
And I think the questions were really, really cool. I think people really enjoy that.
I think so too.